Alright, so this is part 2 of my Psychics Exposed series, and during part 1 I asked you to rate my reading for you on an accuracy level of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Most of you should have rated that at an accuracy of around 6, 7 or 8. The reason for that is what you experienced there was what was called a stock reading. A stock reading is a reading which basically matches nearly every personality type. You give a positive and then a negative. So in other words, you're the type of person who feels confident on the outside. However, you're hemmed in by restrictions and you're quite nervous on the inside. Notice the positive first, confident, then hemmed in by restrictions and nervous on the inside, the negative. So it'll match almost every person. This is the way a lot, not all, but a lot of psychics will start out. In other words, they'll throw out stock readings, which will match people's personalities. This isn't really to amaze people, it's just to gain confidence with them. In other words, slowly start roping you in. Because if you're there sitting one-on-one with a psychic and they tell you this stuff about yourself, it seems mildly, not majorly, but mildly impressive. Then they've got a gauge on you because they're watching you. They're watching the way you react and they want to know if you're skeptical or cynical. They want to know if you're a believer versus a non-believer. This stock reading will give them all that information. Also notice the way I use tarot cards. The system that a psychic uses is the #1 tool that they have to their advantage. Because when they get things wrong, they blame the system. In other words, the cards are telling me about something. The cards are telling me, for example, that you had a brother at one time and he's passed away. If you don't react to this, then they'll blame the system. It's not the psychic's fault, it's the system's fault. The cards are telling me. That's a very important thing to realize with these people. Whatever system they're using, palm reading, tea leaf reading, any kind of system at all, they will always blame the system if something goes right. However, or if something goes wrong rather. However, if something goes right, they'll always take the claim. They'll always say that it was them that extracted this information from the other side or from the cards, whatever it is. So that explains a little bit, not a lot about stock reading. However, how do they know more intricate information about you right there at home? Well, that's when they get into cold reading. Cold reading is where they read somebody cold. What that means is really that they've never met the person before. So they can't do any, they can't have looked up the person's name on the internet, and they don't have any information about them at all. So they've got to read the person cold. They may start, like I said, with a stock reading, and then they'll zone in on more specific information. How does that work? Well, rather than just telling you here, I'm going to go out, film a quick example of me doing cold reading, extracting specific information for somebody, and then I'll explain how it all works. Tune in here, and if you like this, please share it with your friends and your family and all your followers too, and maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel. Catch you here later.